Let's just get that started. That's a good way to start. Thank you, yes, thank you. Yes, thank you. I know that was all for me. Hey guys, welcome to the 2019 Glass Blown Open Pro Panel presented by the PDGA. We're gonna have a great time tonight. I'm excited. And that guy's very excited. My name is Robert McCall. I'm going to be guiding us through this evening, but that's all that you'll hear me say other than asking questions, because we got some important people up here. And they're good at disc golf. All right, so let's go down the line and introduce these people, just in case you don't know who they are. Right here, 2018 MPO Disc Golf World Champion. Maybe you've heard of him, Greg Parsons. 2018 FPO World Champion, Emporia Zone, Paige Bierkes. We got 2018 Glass Blown Open Champion, as well as some other things, I guess. This is Eagle McMahon. We got four-time world champ and current US DGCA Champion, Paul Macbeth. This is our current Maple Hill champion, as well as quite possibly the best hair in disc golf, and it really hurts me to say that. James Conrad. And Zach's here too. All right, let's go ahead. Hey, this is, at the time that we wrote this, I haven't fact-checked this recently, but this was the highest rated lefty in the world. Oh, Greg said he's going to take his hair down. We'll have a contest. I respect that. All right.
Go, Greg!
So let's start with a softball. These are, and by the way, these are all fan-submitted questions. So if you don't like a question, don't ask me why I asked it, because it wasn't my idea. All right, so let's start with a softball. For you guys, and let's have everybody answer this, because I think this will be different for each person. We'll start down there with James. Is there a disc in your bag that you won't throw over water or something like that because you're afraid of losing it? Do you even keep discs like that in your bag, or is it just ones that you can replace really easily?
I try to keep everything I have pretty replaceable, because if I want to be able to have the confidence to throw like my favorite disc, no matter how dangerous the shot might be. Like if I need this birdie, I want to throw my best T-bird. I want to throw my best AVR at it. So I try not to worry about whether or not I'm going to lose it.
Should I go next?
Yeah, you can go next.
Okay. What James said, I think is pretty accurate. I think you need to have faith in all the discs in your bag, but the first felon that I received when I switched to Dynamic is a proto felon, and it's been in the bag for almost 2.5 years, so that one usually doesn't come out of the water, so sorry.
I have a red force in my bag. It's my most understable force, and that one was probably the one that I try not to lose. Yeah, I mean, if I lose them, it's okay, but that's the one I'm the most reluctant to throw over water.
For sure.
As for me, well, is that louder? Okay, whoa. Wow. Okay, sweet. I actually put water discs in my bag. I definitely have some discs that fly a lot better than others, and I want to keep those guys in the bag. So definitely seek out the replacement discs a lot.
I lose discs a lot, so I have to make sure that I have backups. But one of my go-tos is a Dymax Fusion Judge. It's a picture of me and my best friends from a trip we took. So I love having that as my go-to. If there's any water, I'll use a different type of judge. But that's my one I wouldn't want to throw over the water.
I remember I had a dragon when I was like 12. It was awesome. I also had a dolphin, if anybody's been playing that. Typically, I just throw whatever the shop feels. You know, they'll make more, so you just have to beat them in.
Okay, thank you guys. Awesome. All right, so this question was addressed specifically to Paul Macbeth. Breaking news, Paul switched sponsors this year. Did you guys know that? I mean, there wasn't a lot made of it, so yeah, I know. Breaking news. Anyway, so this person wanted to know, Paul, what's been the overall process of changing disc companies? A little bit about learning new disc, but that's kind of a given, but kind of dealing with the headlines, the shots, social media, marketing. What's that been like over the last few months?
Well, as far as the disc, I think in the off season I like to practice on something in my game and try to just like work on key aspects of it. So this winter was a little different. I had to learn disc rather than learn new shots and things like that. So that was the biggest difference, I think, overall from finding new molds and just different feels and kind of slightly different flights. But social media aspect, it was like, it just flooded. Like I had to do everything because everything was new marketing, new promotions, everything was new. So it was very busy and going to Michigan a lot and back and forth, so a lot of traveling, but it's been a lot of fun, so I'm enjoying it. I think it's really helped Discraft and just getting the name out there and getting a lot of discs out there, and I'm enjoying it, so I hope you guys are too.
Awesome, thank you, sir. All right, next one. Yeah, you can clap if you like their answer, that's good. If you don't like their answer, don't boo, please, unless it's Zach, that's fine. But hey, ironically, this question is for Zach, though. Yes, thank you. You've made my year. All right. So Zach, yeah, just go. This person wants to know. So you have a background as a youth worker, camp counselor, things like that. Do you foresee a place for players with years of tournament experience, maybe once they're tournament prime, kind of becoming trainers for younger players? You know, like we see in soccer, football, basketball, things like that. Is that something that you see in the future, and if so, what do you think that'll look like? Just, yeah, give me one.
I mean, I think with the rate that disc golf is growing, just from like now, from when I first started playing, I think that's definitely possible in the future. I think it would be awesome to kind of like, when you get done with your playing career, towards the end of it, to be able to work with younger players and kind of help them, and I think that would be really neat to be able to do that. So hopefully disc golf is that big when we're done playing. Nice.
Is that something you'd be interested in as well?
I would love to do that. If you need help with your sidearm, Robert, let me know.
Thank you. Hey, I really need it. I mean, that's fair criticism. So don't have a very good one. Anyway, okay, let's move on. This is for everybody, and this person wanted to know: do you have any tournament day or tournament round, those sort of things, superstitions, things that like outfits that you want to wear on this specific day, or foods that you will only eat when you're playing a tournament or playing well or playing bad, anything like that? Do you have any superstitions? If so, we'd like to know so the rest of us don't feel, so crazy. We can start wherever, yeah.
Yeah, I'll go. Not too many superstitions. I do get a little weird with like, just if I feel like I played really great, like even if it's something as weird as one pair of socks, and like I really feel like I need another round, I might make sure I'm wearing that same pair. Like little things like that, but I don't have any major superstitions, like no food groups I avoid, or I don't have to eat the same breakfast every day, but it definitely, there's a little bit of that, but nothing too weird, I don't think, for me.
Zero superstitions. I feel like every day is different for me. I feel like I don't warm up the same way every day. It's nice if I even get to the course in time to warm up, so.
That's fair.
As far as superstitions, I wouldn't say I really have a superstition, but I do like to wear blue every Sunday. Tiger has red, so I went with blue. Yeah, he's got that fire. So I just wear blue every final round, but that's about it.
Sweet.
Okay, let me get out my list. Yeah, I'm definitely more superstitious than most people. Usually I like to kill the superstition once I feel like I've formed a monster. Like a lot of the times if I don't listen to the right song, that completely sets my day off, just terrible. But I definitely have the clothes that I play good in, and the shirts that are just completely terrible. Like, why would I ever wear that? Usually I have all black underwear. There's this gray pair. Never wear those.
Get them out.
But yeah,
coming soon to eBay, Eagle McMahon's gray pair of He doesn't play well enough, but you might.
That's very true. Yeah, I definitely let superstitions affect me to a certain aspect or a certain extent, but usually they reset each season. So this year's superstitions are going to be different than next year's.
Can you speak briefly to this year's superstitions then?
I have to listen to trance EDM before every single round.
Sick. Okay, sounds good.
I don't really have any superstitions, but I like to say a prayer before every round, whether it's like the B tier or the last round of Worlds. That's what I like to do.
That's legit. Superstitions?
Yeah.
I just, I try not to think too much. Like, that's my big thing. If I just end up thinking a lot, gotta figure a way out. To, like, just gotta get out of the head. However I gotta do it. If I gotta go run for a mile or like, throw 100 putts until I can't feel my arm. Yeah.
Hey, that's super good advice, actually. I know that Greg kind of says it in a joking way, but yeah, unless you can use your brain, that's pretty good. Let your body do what it's trained to do.
It's always helpful.
I can dig it. All right, next one here. This is for Eagle McMahon. So Eagle, this person wanted to know what had to change mentally for you to win your first national tour. So kind of take us through what was happening before when you were kind of on the cusp, and then how it's been since, and what kind of that breakthrough point was for you.
I want to say that I was young and dumb to start, and that was probably a little bit of it. But going to Switzerland in the late 2017 or 2018 season really kind of provided me with a paradigm shift. I felt like I really started working hard every day and focusing on how my mindset each day reflected on my time with the course. It's not all just practice on the course, guys. It's how you do your dishes, it's how you make your bed. Just really practicing quality in every single moment of the day and being very mindful of that. I think that that's very overlooked in the sport of disc golf. It's about the journey.
Nice, that's awesome. We've got a follow-up to that one as well, Eagle. So this isn't a follow-up to that question, but just another question specifically for you. So on a broadcast earlier this year, this person said you were commenting on radar gun arm speed and what kind of speed it takes to throw a speed 9 disc, 11, 13, and so on. Do you think that's like a hard and fast thing? You have to have this sort of arm speed to throw this sort of disc? And this person wants to know what's your arm speed and like kind of what do you think all the top guys are throwing, things like that. Top competitors, pardon me.
Did I question that? Because I don't remember.
It's okay. They were talking about, radar gun, arm speed that it takes to throw a speed 9, 11, 13. Do you keep up with that stuff, or you just throw the frisbee?
Okay, I was probably talking about the wintertime when Central Coast was filming. They usually do the radar gun for that. I'd say the only thing I can really say about that, if you're probably throwing anywhere above 70 miles per hour, you're going to be throwing more like 12 overstable 12-speed drivers, kind of like maybe a PD2, a lot easier. But then if you're maxed out maybe in the 60 mile per hour range, you're going to probably want to try maybe a DD3 or 50 miles per hour, a DDX. So it varies for sure.
Cool, I got you. Very good. All right, let's keep it moving. This is one for everybody, and then after this we've got a special presentation from Steve Hill. Look out. So this is for everybody. We can start on this side this time with Gregory Barsby. He's prepared. What course impressed you the most the first time that you played it? Whether that's design or scenery, views, things like that. What course impressed you the most the first time you played it?
Great question. Maple Hill, from the amenities, the way that the course is drawn up, the amount of different shots that you have to take to play the course. Yarva. That's right, yes, that's right. Yarva, it's a beautiful place. Matt's worked on it for 20 years. And, hashtag GBO. You got how many thousands of people out here playing golf? This is always an epic one, no matter what. Hashtag GBO.
Listen to the man. Hashtag GBO. Thank you very much.
Mine has to be Smugs, Smuggler's Notch. I've never been there before until this past September, I didn't know what to expect. I hadn't really seen too much coverage of the course, and Vermont is just beautiful. On the course, off the course is just a cool place to hang out and play disc golf, hang out with friends, and see the scenery.
And spoiler alert, she won there, so I guess that's pretty good too. South.
There's 3 places off the top of my head. Number 1 is Järva Disc Golf Park in Stockholm, Sweden. It is unbelievable. Just the amount of work that's gone into that place. It's heaven. Other place, Milo McIver in Oregon. It's like you're ready to see dinosaurs. It's so green, the trees are so big. And then the Franz Ferdinand course in Konopiste, Czech Republic, just rolling hills. There's a castle on the course. When you're playing the fairways, you see this huge castle. So that's incredible.
That's awesome.
I agree with what Eagle said about the Konopiste and Franz Ferdinand. A lot of these top courses are international, it seems to be, but here in the U.S., I think I really like the Grand Canyon. I think that property over there in Brooksville, Florida, for Throw Down the Mountain, that property is just incredible, and yeah, that's the one that kind of blew me away my first time.
For me, it has to be Maple Hill. I know Greg already said that, but I had watched every video of Maple Hill before I went. Like I've watched probably 20 videos, and I still stepped up to hole 1, and it still blew me away. So that course for sure.
I'd say the probably place that kind of blew me away the most was the Blockhouse Disc Golf and Country Club out in Spotsylvania, Virginia. It was called the Grange when I first started going, and just the atmosphere of the place, you know, it's so many people just coming together and enjoying each other's company, enjoying disc golf. It's like a festival type feel, and super laid back, and just so much fun, plus some great Virginia golf.
Awesome, excellent answers, you guys. If you haven't had the chance to travel as much as these guys, I would say put some of those on your bucket list. Pretty sweet courses to play. I'm going to invite Steve Hill from the PDGA up to the stage right now. We've got a question from him on behalf of the PDGA Radio, and then we've got a giveaway as well. So let's welcome Steve to the stage.
Hello. First of all, give it up again for everyone here in Dynamic Discs and the whole town of Emporia for blowing us So yes, I'm the co-host of PDGA Radio, and we were able to put out a question to listeners to submit to the pro panel. So this one is coming from Caleb Livernash, PDGA Radio listener, who will be getting a basket sent to him. So pretty cool. Thank you to Dynamic Discs for helping us out with that. So the question from Caleb is, if and when you find yourself losing focus during a round, what helps you regain that focus? Is it a certain thought, phrase, or action, or is it something different every round?
I don't think that it's anything is it Caleb? To answer Caleb's question, I don't think it's anything that's you can just put your finger on. To regain focus is to reset yourself. Everybody has their kind of own different thing in the way they do it. You know, some person might need to go and spend 20 seconds by themselves. Somebody might need a laugh from one of their card mates. I think the main thing is just getting back to like your essence and what you really are about, and then moving forward from there.
How do you do that, Greg? You don't have that,
Lot
but let's just assume that you did.
A lot of different ways. I haven't thrown a bad shot in a long time.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, respect, dude. Respect.
For me, I'm someone who likes to take that time to myself, the extra 10, 15 seconds. I'll walk ahead of my card or behind my card, and just telling myself it's never too late. There was a round at Maple Hill this past year where I bogeyed 4 of the first 6 holes, and then by the end of the round I had a bunch of birdies and tied for the hot round of the day. So just reminding myself and telling myself it is literally never too late to park the next shot or to make that putt. So those help me.
I like to take a bite of a cookie. Before my rounds, I actually have a contract for myself, and it basically outlines like all the things that are important to me when I'm in like tense moments such as disc golf rounds. And really, I just think about that, and it's as simple as taking a deep breath and thinking about that contract with myself and just thinking, okay, I need to be more in this moment right now. And usually that works pretty good for me. So take a deep breath and think back on who you really want to be as a person.
Yeah, I think this is a tough question because it is so different. I think it's situational. For me, sometimes it's a saying, sometimes it's music, sometimes it's just taking a moment and realizing, we all throw bad shots except for Greg, of course. That's a given. It happens to all of us, so it's just kind of stopping and just taking that moment and just knowing you can't go back and fix it. You can just move on from here and get better. So it's just realizing and taking responsibility that bad shots happen and you can fix that in the future.
When I'm having a tough spot in a round or losing focus, getting frustrated, I think one thing I've noticed is that like you kind of close down and you don't really talk to anybody. You're more worried about what you're doing wrong. And when I have those moments, I try to just talk with my card mates, converse with them, joke with them. Doing that kind of helps me stop worrying about how I'm not throwing like I want and just kind of enjoy the moment, have a good time, and just throw frisbees. And usually it works out.
Along the lines of what Zach said, it can help put me in a more positive mind state if I almost like cheer for the people on my card. I want to see people throwing good shots, and if I'm radiating positive energy towards the people on my card, I feel like they tend to radiate back towards me a little bit more, and helps kind of lift up the card. And then on top of that, just like controlling your breath, taking time to really slow it down and really just give your heart rate a chance to come back down a little bit. That can make all the difference that it takes.
Nice, thank you guys. Yeah, that's awesome. All right, Greg, this question is specifically for you. It is. This person said, yeah, first of all, let it down.
What's this guy want to hear?
Yeah. There you go. All right, so this person said, you've been in the game a long time, probably longer than most people realize, right?
Probably.
So, and that's not they were not making an old joke. They were respecting what you're doing.
It's been a long grind.
It has. So their question was, what do you think is the biggest difference on the course, and just competitively, kind of between the OG touring guys from the 90s, early 2000s, and the guys who are up and coming now, or the current best players in our sport? How is the landscape different now than it was back then?
It's multiplied times 8 from the manufacturers to the amount of players on tour, to the media outlets. There's such a dynamic question.
Hey, nice plug, thanks, man.
Like honestly though, yeah, when I first started touring, I started to tour full time, in 2007. So it's been 12 years since I started doing this. There were, I think, maybe 15 or 20 guys that were really like in and out, maybe. Now you have about 60 players, it seems like, that really go out and do this all the time. The landscape's changed dramatically just because of the amount of credibility someone can have through social media, where the sponsorships are derived from social media and media outlets instead of maybe just talent and skills, which is kind of where I came from. So, hey, and mad props to people that have an awesome following like Eagle and Paul. These guys are amazing. And I got nothing but respect and love for that. But I have more respect for the skills with the discs. So I just stay focused on that. And that's not a diss, and no disrespect to either of those guys. They know I'm always joking around and we're always having a good time. But that's mostly how the landscape has changed.
Thank you, Gray. That's a good one, man. This guy's a party. I like having him up here. All right, I'm going to start down on the end with James for this one. This is for everybody. So this fan submitted the question: if you had the power to change only one thing in disc golf, what would it be? It's kind of a big question. Like, you know, take a minute to ponder your existence, but not too long in answer that.
I feel like on a relatively small scale, I'd definitely pick like tee boxes. I'd want huge tee pads on every course that's going on.
How interesting!
I would have bet $100 he would have said tee pads for sure. You know, for me, I enjoy playing in the woods more than the open, so, you know, play all courses that are in the woods, you know. But no.
I'm really liking going international and playing a lot of tournaments and courses out there. So maybe some bigger events out there, maybe a Worlds out there soon.
Cool.
This is a really big question, and I need more time to think about it. But on small scale, I just want to figure out, like, do we play the 2-meter rule or do we not?
The answer here is unequivocally, we do not play the 2-meter rule.
I think mine's kind of two things. More money for the women's side, which means more women players. So we need to have the same numbers as the guys for us to be able to make the same amount as they do. So invite your girlfriends, wives, your best friends, just grow the sport. If you introduce, you know, one girl to the sport, you know, you're like doubling basically what we have. I mean, there's only like a few of us that tour full time, so
Math checks out.
just, you know, that's what I would check.
Nice.
Go change, for sure. The question was, change one thing?
Change one thing. What would it be?
Such a controversial question.
It's deep, man.
Well, you got to think about it. When Frisbee golf started, the Frisbees were that big. Now they're, so I feel like the basket should also change in conjunction with the courses to see who the best players are.
All right, this question is specifically for James Conrad. James, this might not surprise you, but most of the questions submitted to you were hair related, like, you know, products, like what conditioner do you use and things like that. So while I read the rest of this question, can we get just like a quick hair flip? Just give the people what they want. Toss it around.
How's that?
Yeah, that's excellent. Yeah. Other than the two guys wearing the hats in the middle, we've got quite the hair collection here on the stage, and I respect it. They have good hair too. They're just covering it up. They're just scared. It's fine.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
seats over there if you can walk.
All right, James. So this is for you.
So.
You're known as one of the best putter throwers in the game. Everybody knows that about you. Did you start out that way, or did you learn to play it, then learn to throw putters really well afterwards? Do you think that's something that's important to learn that helps your overall game?
I definitely think it's important to learn. I think throwing slow disc is really valuable. You know, I try to throw pretty much the slowest disc I can on a lot of holes. I say I started to really start throwing the putter and trusting throwing putters a lot when I moved to Virginia. In high school, I lived in Colorado, and out there, going through puberty, I learned how to throw far. You know, moved to Virginia, and there's just trees everywhere, and I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? The local course was all 300 feet and less, tight wooded shots, so I'd just play round after round with only the putters, and get kind of stuck.
Excellent. All right. This question is specifically for Paige Bierkes. Yeah, also hair flip. Give the people what they want. Yeah! Or you can just show up tomorrow at Country Club at 9 and every tee box will look like this. All right, Paige, when you first started playing disc golf, you've been playing for a long time as well. Did you ever think you'd make it this far in your career, as a touring professional? Did you think you'd be able to do this for a living? That's kind of a yes or no question. So I guess, what were your goals when you started? Did you ever aspire to be here? And if so, how did that look like to you early on?
Yeah, my parents didn't I was really young, like before I really remember much. So it wasn't until I was about 10 that I really like played a full round and kind of learned about, Valerie Jenkins, Des Redding, and watched, Worlds coverage. In 09, my grandma took my brother and I to Junior Worlds, which was also with Pro Worlds in Kansas City. And there I met some of the top pros I always looked up to, and I got to watch Valerie Jenkins win. I think it was her third in a row. And I think then seeing her win, I guess, and all the cheers and, Avery winning that same year, I played with my brother. I think we both really wanted to push ourselves and see like what we could do. And it was nice to have, my mom and dad and sibling playing because they would push me and we'd play all the time. So it was family time and, we'd get better as disc golfers. And, my parents started taking me to tournaments out of state, and I guess just seeing the same kind of touring pros on top, I just thought, that would be super awesome to do. And as I grew up and, more players like Kat and Paige came on the scene, I just made my dreams, I guess, grow bigger and bigger. So I have dreamed of being a world champion for sure, winning NTs, and it all kind of came fast, so I'm still kind of trying to develop what my new dreams are and what's next, in the career, and I'm just grateful to be on the path that I was and that I'm having the success that I have so far.
Awesome. And it's good that you said that. That kind of leads us into our next question. This is for everybody. When you started out playing disc golf, who were your inspirations, or who kind of got you started and then motivated you to get better? And we can go in whatever order you want. We don't have to go just in the line. We can do whatever we want. Greg will start.
Jeff and Johnny Lissaman. This is before the internet, people. Okay. Mike Loya, all right? Jason Flecksteiner. Ken Klimo.
Maybe you've heard of him. Yeah, whoever else.
Like I said, my brother and I grew up playing together, and we both loved Avery and Val. We wanted to be like them. And Liz Lopez. Those were pretty cool people that we met that were down to earth, good disc golfers, and I still look up to them today.
Awesome.
Well, it was different for me, I feel, starting off. I feel like the local Mile High Disc Golf Club was a big influence on me. I'd say the people who really pushed me and inspired me to be good was like Mitch Sonderfan, Rob Nichols, Pat Blazek, and Joe Revere.
I had some very good local pros when I was coming up, so those were the ones that I looked up to when I first started. Robert McEntee, Kyle Crabtree, you guys have probably heard of him. So he was around my home course, and he was someone that I looked up to playing. And then once I found out about professional and touring disc golf, it was of course people like Climo, Avery, and actually Greg was up there too. So in NorCal, so that was awesome.
I started playing disc golf because my brother played, and I just wanted to spend time with him. And from there it grew. I just fell in love with throwing discs and became a disc golf junkie. Watched videos, I watched every disc golf video on the internet, I think. And my inspiration, I would say, are all the top pros: Paul, Greg, guys that I watched on video, and I decided that I wanted to compete against them and see how I stacked up. So I started playing as much as I could and started traveling.
I'd say for me, it was probably mostly my dad. I got started when I was really young, and he was always good at disc golf. Growing up, he'd be winning most of the Open or Masters fields he was in local tournaments, and always just really looked up to him. I probably wasn't 16 or 17 until I actually beat him in a tournament round. So he kicked my butt for a long time, 10 years of playing before I ever got him in a round. And definitely appreciate his influence he had on my game.
Awesome.
I second that. Love you, Dad.
All right, here's another question for everybody. This is not necessarily a disc golf question, but maybe a kind of a personal question. But what's one thing that you think a lot of disc golfers don't know about you? Like maybe a special talent that you have, or something that you enjoy doing that isn't disc golf? What's something that most disc golfers don't know about you? And this is for everybody, so reveal as much as you'd like to. I know James is pretty good at lots of stuff, so let's hear about it.
Yeah, I feel like most people know, but I'm pretty into juggling. That's a big one. I can also ride a unicycle, though. Not too many people probably know that. I know Zach knows it, but not too many.
His dad has a video. If you want to message him, and ask him for it. It's pretty awesome. It's James freestyling on the unicycle, so it's good. I don't know. Most of my friends know, but I really enjoy playing basketball. Not really playing anymore, but I love to shoot, and so I'm just going to throw this out there. I'm the best jump shooter on tour. The mic has been dropped. Yuli, anybody else want to come at me? But boom.
The gauntlet is thrown. It's down.
This question is hard because you ask it every year. So I always have to think of something.
You have to think of a lot of answers to this for sure.
Oh boy. I guess something that they don't know. Can I pass for now?
Yeah, we can come back to you.
Okay. All right.
I really enjoy just spending time around food, whether it's going to like a restaurant or making food myself. I think that's a very important part of being a disc golfer is what you put into your body. So I'm a fan of creating tasty treats in this mini RV.
If I'm not on the course or practicing, you can usually catch me watching a movie. I love watching movies. I've watched movies with my family ever since I was a kid. Always been into, the celebrities, the movie stars, the Oscar-nominated movies, all that jazz. So I like doing that when I'm not playing disc golf.
Who's your favorite movie star?
Christian Bale.
Something that people don't know about me?
People don't know.
I tried out for a progressive death metal band, The Baseless, 12 years ago, on the vocals. And I've also played in 5 bands and put out 2 EPs.
It's pretty sweet.
And the death metal vocals? I don't think they're ready.
I don't know if we're ready for that.
You guys are not ready. Catch me outside.
Yeah. Maybe bonfire time. He'll be nice and warmed up. A couple more questions for everybody here. This one is, how do you recommend setting expectations for a tournament? What does that look like for you? Oh yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Paul. My bad.
I still need more time.
Almost gave him a free pass.
I'll come up with it. Keep going.
Okay.
I'll think it good.
Okay. The question I'm going to ask to everybody, so y'all can think about, is how do you recommend setting expectations for a tournament? What does that look like for you? Do you come up with a score? Do you come up with a game plan? What does that look like? But before everybody answers that, Paul, you're not getting off the hook. What's one thing people don't know about you?
I cried during Secretariat. I was inspired.
Just think, if you didn't attend tonight, you wouldn't know that about Paul Macbeth. So thank you for coming to our attention. Anyway, yeah, how do you go about setting expectations? Paul, why don't you go ahead and start since you got the mic already?
Watch Secretariat.
You'll cry, you'll be inspired, you're ready to play.
No, setting expectations it's actually something I don't do. I try so hard not to set expectations because that's just setting up for failure. So I just try to go out there, game plan, and just try to dissect every hole and every shot, and just try to stick to that as much as possible. But there are factors that can get in the way, but expectations, I avoid those as much as possible.
I have to assume when you shot a few 18-unders, expectations don't really apply to you anymore? Okay, sweet. Let's give it up for a couple 18-unders. Come on, dude. Massive respect for me. Zach, what do you say?
What about like a 13 now?
I mean, 13's good too. That's still pretty good.
You want to answer this, Zach, or should I just go? All right, I'm ready. Okay, no, here's the thing. I just want to beat all of these guys. It's my #1 expectation. To just beat everybody. Like, it's just that easy, I just think about it, and I'm like, here's this Frisbee. I'm just going to throw it over there, and it'll happen.
Fewer times than everybody else.
Right, that's the thing. You
That's
want
the
to do
goal.
it last.
Yeah, okay, so
Yeah.
pro tips. Whoever's ready to go next, tell us about how you set expectations, or if you do.
when I'm playing a course and kind of learning what shots I need, just realizing what my game is capable of, and don't expect anything more. Just because my competitors can throw farther, or they have a better Anheuser game, all that. I try to stick to what's best for my game and know my limits and what I'm capable of, and plan around that. And if I plan something on a certain hole and it doesn't quite go right, minimize mistakes. Swallow, take my medicine, swallow the pill, lay up. Just minimizing mistakes goes a long way in the game.
Yeah. I don't set expectations when I go to the course. When I'm going to play a tournament, I show up, I'll warm up, hopefully, and then go to hole one, and I'm focused on hole one's tee shot, and after that, I just try to react and go shot by shot, and stay in the moment. I don't like to think ahead. Like Paul said, I think that's how you get into trouble. Just stay in the moment.
Yeah, expectations can be tough, but it depends on the course. Like some courses, I'll just try to keep it close to Ironman par. That's how I grew up kind of keeping score. And so if it's like a high par course and I know that 54 is a great score, I'll just be fighting to try to get to that 54. If I take a 4, I gotta try to get a 2 in there, and that's probably the closest I come to setting a score expectation. But I'll definitely set personal ones where I try to stay in the right mind state throughout as much of the tournament as I can, and that sort of thing.
Expectations are kind of a weird thing for me. I'm definitely facing it this weekend, being a defending champion. There's definitely some expectations by a lot of people, and you may say that I don't know. It's tough for me because I do have expectations, but I do my best to ignore them. Really, all I try to focus on is how I feel and how I handle each moment. If I'm having a hard time out in the course, then I just try to refer back to what am I good at, and then I trust that. So when I'm in a time of adversity, think back and be okay, take a deep breath. You've literally done this for over 10,000, 20,000 hours, and it's going to be okay. And that's basically it.
Awesome, great answers, you guys. We got one more question before we take a break before the players' meeting. So this is one piece of advice you would give to GBO competitors this week. It can be about disc golf, it can be about what to do in Emporia, whatever you want. One piece of advice for GBO competitors this week.
I'm ready. Play more catch. It's a great game.
Nice.
Stay positive. We've all played a lot of disc golf. We play with a lot of people, and it's easy to throw a shot and to immediately think what you didn't do correct. And I think that negativity can just build up, so stay positive.
Yeah, to kind of go along with what Zach said is just don't make it about your rounds this week. I mean, this is a very rare opportunity where we're here with 1,600 other disc golfers in one place. So don't make it about your rounds and enjoy everyone around you.
Remember to have fun out there, and if you are trying to, compete well in your division, disc down and go to the safe shot.
Create a game plan and stick to it. Sorry. If you have an idea and you plan out your shots and what you really think will lead to your success, your mind is ready, it knows what it needs to do, and usually you'll execute. And just stick to it and commit.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Just enjoy yourself, I think that's why we're all here, right? Yeah. It's one thing to come out and have the mindset to go and play golf and play your competitive game, play your best. But all in all, just to try to enjoy yourself, whether you're on the course or not. Try to represent the sport well here for this town. Love being here. This is disc golf universe right now. So #GBO.
Oh man, this guy. All right, well let's show a quick round of applause for our pros here. Greg Barsby, Paige Buick, Ingo McMahon, Paul Schultz, Zach, Malcolm, James Conrad.
Happy birthday, Bobby. It's Bobby's birthday, guys.
So, a little bit of housekeeping. In just a moment, we're going to take a break as we get ready for the players meeting. Once the players meeting is concluded, these 6 individuals on the pro panel will be up here to sign the pro panel discs that you got if you bought one. If you have one of those, do not also bring up other discs for them to sign. We want to make sure that we keep that line moving so that these guys can sign these and then get ready for competition. So, after the players meeting is when you'll be able to do that. You'll see them up here on the stage. We will reconvene for the players meeting at 8 o'clock sharp. Grab yourself a drink from the bar back here. Hang out with some friends. We'll talk soon.